Today we will be making a modern style Scandinavian dish with duck for St. Martin's Day, or Mortens Aften as we call it in Danish. And if you are into other Danish dishes or Scandinavian dishes for that matter, then make sure to subscribe and ring the bell notification for updates of future videos. But for the duck frying, then we will be using these ingredients, and for the carrot puree, then we will be using these ingredients. The red wine sauce are using these ingredients here, potatoes, and lastly for the red cabbage salad we will be using these ingredients. But let's just get right into it and cook this duck here. For the carrot puree, then we are using 3 carrots that you will just be peeling and then cutting them into smaller sizes. Then we can go ahead and steam those, as I like to steam it because that keeps all the flavor and all the nutrition inside the carrots instead of boiling them. Then once they're steamed for like about 30 minutes, then we can go ahead and pop them into a blender where we can blend that into a paste. You can decide on how thin you want the paste, of course. Then we can go ahead and add about 25 grams of butter and then blend that together. Once that is finished, then we can just pour it into a bowl and then add a little bit of salt. Give that a final stir and then that is ready for plating. For the potatoes, then we peel them and then we cut them into the size that you prefer to eat them at. So I'm cutting them into these. Then in salt with water, then we will be boiling them until they are almost done. And then while they are boiling, then we can do the red cabbage salad, where we will be using a quarter of a red cabbage. Just chop that into fairly fine slices. And then we need a apple, a little bit sour apple, so a toki apple as they call it in Japan would be ideal for this situation. And then you can just eat the stuff that you don't need, of course. Add some orange or mandarin juices, as it is in season right now with mandarin. Mix that well together and then we can do the dressing. For the dressing, then we will be using 3 oil to 1 black balsamico. Add some oil to the pan and then we can add our chopped almonds, roast them for a couple minutes until they have a nice fragrance. Then add them to a small bowl where you can salt and mix it a little bit. And finally, for the duck, then we are going to slice the skin with a very sharp knife. Be careful not to cut it all the way to the meat. You just want to render the skin very nicely. So I cross cut it so it is in squares, but you can of course decide on how you want to cut the skin on the duck. Salt on both sides generously and then drop it onto a pan on low heat. Then you can cook it for about 15 minutes before turning it to the meat side. add a little bit, add 2 cloves of garlic and a little bit of thyme to the fat, and then we can just give it a quick toss. Turn it when the skin is nice and golden, and then let it be on the meat side for about 2 or 3 minutes, whereafter we can turn it on the sides for a minute on each side. If you want your duck more reddish, then you can of course just cook it for 6 minutes on the skin side, 2 minutes on the stomach, and then pop it in the oven for another 6 to 8 minutes. But we don't have an oven here, so this is like the most ideal way to do it, I think. For the potatoes, then once they're done, then we just pour them into the duck fat so they take up all the juices from the fat, as well as the thyme and the garlic. Then you can plate those. For the red wine sauce, then I'm using the juices from half a mandarin, as well as 1 teaspoon of sugar, and then a lot of red wine. Add a teaspoon of soy sauce, and then pop it onto the pan. Now boil that until all the alcohol is melted away and you have a little bit more thick sauce. And of course I put it in the same pan as the leftover duck fat, so we still have some of the flavors from the duck. Add a tablespoon and a half of balsamico, and then boil it for another 2 minutes before it's finished. So when plating it, then we can add our dressing to the salad and give that a small stir. Before plating it on the plate. Now I'm plating it in 2 lines, so the salad goes on 1 line and then the duck will be going on a 2nd line. So you have the salad that we are doing on 1 line, and then we add on top our almonds. And then next to that we are adding our carrot puree and spread it out nicely. Then on top we can add our nice sliced duck. Don't cut it too thin. I like it a little bit thick slices, and then you can cut it at an angle if you prefer. So add 3 or 4 slices on top of your carrot puree and it will look brilliant. Top it with a pinch of salt, and then around it we can add our red wine sauce. And there we have it. Yeah, so if you want an alternative way of eating duck for St. Martin's Day, then I would highly recommend this dish. It incorporates all the nice flavors that you need, so salty and sour as well as sweet, and the crunchiness in the dish that you need in order to make it a all-around nice experience. Then yeah, give it a try, and it does take an hour and a half, 2 hours to make, but it is quite simple once you have all the ingredients in place to make the dish come together very nicely. But if you want to see more Danish recipes or Danish dishes, then you can click this recipe up here, or click this playlist up here, as well as subscribe for more videos so you won't miss them out in the future. And otherwise, then I will just see you in there. Vi ses!